Good morning, happy Monday, and welcome to the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. What's next for you? Visit cnext.bank for more. It is a Monday. A lot of the kiddos are out of school for fall break and stuff like that. So we're a little out of the sorts. I say out of sorts somewhat this morning. The baby's not going to her school this morning, so she's going to be hanging out. Thought about bringing her in for the Too Long Didn't Read, but I think she would just slow my workflow down. So I'm going to go hang out with her in just a second. But not a whole lot happening in the early part of the week forecast. We do have a pattern change later this week. That's going to bring some changes, some thunderstorm potential. And I also wanted to turn our attention to some poorer than normal air quality across the area. Something that in the last 20 years I haven't routinely brought to you, but I haven't routinely brought it to you because really haven't just had the time to bring that to you in any general time frame. Also, a reminder, the first batch of our hats went out last week, so if you want to pick up a Chunky Snow or a Too Long Didn't Read hat, you can go to digitalweatherdesk.com. As always, you can pick up your latest forecast there as well. Check out the radar made possible by Browns Roofing. Schedule your free inspection at brownsroofingla.com. Again, you want to do that during good weather, not bad weather. And the radar shows some suspended rainfall, part of a frontal system that'll wash out along the Ozarks and through the central United States as we go through the next day or so. Not really a big player in our forecast. Futurecast made possible by Bayou Power Sports showing that frontal zone just kind of washing out. It does leave kind of an area of moisture out over the central United States for the next few days, but for today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, virtually not a cloud across the region as we continue to stay rather quiet. That could lead to its own, like I said, headaches in terms of air quality. We'll jump to that in just a minute. 57 currently in Monroe, 58 in Alexandria, 63 in Shreveport, 61 in Little Rock, 51 in Meridian, Mississippi. So there are some cooler spots out there, especially if you're traveling regionally this morning. Across the area this morning, temperature-wise locally, 54 in Winsboro and St. Joseph, 55 in Ruston, 56 in El Dorado, 57 in Monticello. So again, a lot of our areas, actually pretty much the entire area, firmly back into the 50s. Again, this is a pretty dry environment. So as we start to see the warming trend with daytime highs, I say see the warming trend, we've already seen it. We were in the upper 80s in many spots yesterday. We'll be there again today, tomorrow, and really through most of this week until that Saturday cold front can wiggle through the area. One thing that will be a little bit of a headache this morning and through the rest of this week as well, at least in the short term, are the lack of winds. Winds will likely stay fairly light or even calm today, and when you're stuck underneath a high-pressure ridge this time of year, that does lead to some air quality issues. As of this morning, air quality is kind of in that not ideal range. It's not what I would consider hazardous by any stretch of the imagination, so I don't want folks thinking that they can't step outside this morning. But again, just a stagnant air mass that's in place, and air quality forecast for the day, also made possible by Bayou Power Sports, shows, again, not necessarily anything that you can't be outside in, but just stagnant air leads to not a lot of circulation, mixing of the atmosphere, and that could lead to some haze issues. And even things like smoke and dust through the day could just kind of linger. There's not much in the way of wind to help kind of mix that up through the environment. Check of the forecast over the next few days, and that kind of tells us the same general story. Check out the water vapor imagery. Goodness. Check out the water vapor imagery this morning shows high pressure center out over the Rio Grande Valley. If you joined me, or if you saw my video from yesterday, it was really kind of positioned out over northern Mexico. So you see the centering of that ridge of high pressure starting to migrate back to the northeast. Gloria, good morning. It is a beautiful one across the area, and the nice mornings will continue for a few more days. Check of the mid-level forecast, and you can kind of see some of that mid-level moisture suspended through the Ozarks with that frontal system that'll wash out over the next few days. Our high-pressure center just parks right over the central United States for the middle part of this week. But we have a developing storm system out to the west. You see that deeper trough of low pressure that's starting to make its way through the Four Corners region. We don't necessarily know exactly what that storm system is going to look like when it arrives in our area, whether it's going to be a much stronger trough, or if it's just going to be kind of a run-of-the-mill front that moves through the region. But we expect that this weekend, and it will bring a reset temperature-wise behind it, but it also brings with it the potential for a front with enough instability out ahead of it to generate some thunderstorm activity. Obviously, it looks like early parts of next week will be relatively quiet, but we haven't seen one of these in a while. We're already in an advanced outlook for severe weather potential as we go into the day on Saturday, and that could linger into Saturday morning. Again, I don't want folks to panic too much about that. If you followed me for a long period of time, you know that advance noticed severe weather threat areas like this are kind of common during the spring and the fall months. You shouldn't be shocked by seeing this. But if you are a new follower and you're seeing this and you're going, oh no, again, we get these pretty frequently. But we haven't seen one in a while. So there again, outlook for potential for severe weather this weekend. We'll keep you updated on that if things change, when things change, because they will change. This threat area will change daily over the next 7 days, and we'll keep you updated on that. Beverly, good morning in Ruston. He said, say hello to Becky, please. Hello, Becky. I follow instruction well. Good morning. Claudia, good morning as well. Thanks so much for hopping in. And for those that are joining in for the first time this morning, we usually do this stream between 7:30 and 8. Not like a set time, because mornings can be chaotic around here. As we get deeper into the weather, in the more active weather, we may look into possibly trying to set more established times for these streams. And I may even kind of survey you folks if that makes a dramatic difference. But the most important thing for all of this is that the forecast is here for you when you need it, whether you watch it live or whether you go, oh, there's Jared's forecast for the morning. Click on it, run through it, and then it's there. And then I'll have another one midday, and then have another one later tonight. Forecast highs today back in the upper end of the 80s. Still lots of sunshine. Again, could be a smidge hazy across the region, especially in the western counties and parishes. If you're sensitive to those types of less than ideal air qualities, asthma and other respiratory conditions, just be mindful of that. Bobby, good morning. Overnight lows tonight back in the upper end of the 50s. Mostly clear, cool, quiet. Your 7-day forecast made possible by 3B Outdoor Equipment shows daytime highs pretty routinely in the upper 80s with morning lows in the upper 50s to near 60 degrees. Sharon, I'm glad you're enjoying these cooler mornings as well. The cooler mornings stick with us. The daytime highs, unfortunately, still well above normal by several degrees for this time of year. I am still conservative on the rain chances Saturday going into Sunday, 30% for both days. For what it's worth, most of the area has 40% rain chances for Saturday night, but that's there. As not trying to tease folks, but it looks like this is the type of cold front that could bring a fairly pronounced pattern shift for the second half of the month. That doesn't mean that we will get colder, but that does mean we could start seeing storm systems at a somewhat more frequent rate by the end parts of this month. That's what I mean by pattern change, kind of opening up the floodgates, so to speak, to get more cold fronts routinely. Not every one of those fronts is going to bring thunderstorms, but maybe some change in store. Reminder, the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank is a digital weather platform serving 33 parishes and counties across northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, and western Mississippi. Made possible by the local businesses that you see there on your screen. You play your role by liking and sharing and commenting on our content, supporting us on your favorite social media platforms, and supporting our local businesses when you can, if you can as well. Onethia, Kathy, Kisty, good morning. Thanks so much for hopping in. Again, for those that haven't been around this weekend or didn't see the notes from last week, first off, the hats are available for purchase. You can go to digitalweatherdesk.com for those. We do expect to have more designs, more colors, more everything down the line. Again, we've been live now for almost a month and a half. We got a long way to go to get to where we want to go. Speaking of that, no new updates on the app yet. At last check, we were getting ready for the submission process to the Apple and App Stores, Apple and Google App Stores. I will bring you updates on those when I have them. And then finally, a reminder that the Digital Weather Desk will be on a limited content schedule starting tomorrow through probably Wednesday. I'll still bring you forecast updates and changes as needed. I'll probably still post a video or two along the way as well, but we're undergoing some upgrades here, generator installation and things like that, getting ready for the severe weather and winter weather seasons. So limited content tomorrow and Wednesday, and I think that covers all the notes. I need to write a Post-it note, a sticky note. I've got so many different Post-it pads, Post-its, so many Post-its, but I don't write any. I just need to make notes, and then that way we don't ramble on. All right, that does it for this morning's forecast. I will check in with you midday and later this evening. Your Too Long Didn't Read comes out in just a little bit as well. And, yeah, that's it. Quiet and dry until this weekend, and change is afoot. You can always check the latest forecast at digitalweatherdesk.com. I'll catch you later today. Enjoy your